All right, let's talk about AI. It's absolutely everywhere in business right now, right? But there's this huge problem hiding in plain sight. Most people just don't trust it. So today, we're going to tackle that skepticism head on. We're going to lay out a clear, simple framework for building AI that your customers can actually believe in.
So, here's the game plan. First, we're going to really define this AI trust gap. Then, I'll introduce you to a solution called the ethics framework. We'll break down exactly what each letter stands for, show you how to actually put it into practice, and finally, we'll talk about why this is all a massive, massive business advantage. Let's get started by digging into just how big this problem is.
Okay, so here's the fundamental issue. Your company has probably spent years, maybe even decades, building up a trusted brand. But here's the thing. When you start using AI, all that trust you've earned doesn't just magically transfer over. In fact, you're starting from way behind because the public is already deeply skeptical.
And when I say skeptical, I mean it. The numbers are pretty staggering. This isn't just a small group of people. According to recent Pew Research, a whopping 59% of adults have little to no confidence that companies will use AI responsibly. That's nearly 6 out of every 10 people. That is a majority you absolutely cannot afford to ignore.
And this isn't just a general distrust of new technology. It's very specific to AI. Research from Edelman found this huge 26-point gap between how much people trust the tech sector in general versus how much they trust AI itself. So they might trust the companies making the tech, but they do not trust this specific technology.
So this really puts businesses in a tough spot. You could have the most loved brand in the world, but the second you roll out an AI tool, you're suddenly facing this wall of doubt that can seriously undermine everything you've worked so hard to build.
Okay, so that's the problem. How do we start to fix it? How do we close that 26-point gap? Well, you need a clear, actionable standard. So let's dive into the RushTree AI ethics framework, which was designed to be a direct answer to this very challenge. At its core, the whole idea is really simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. It's about creating a standard that any team can actually use and enforce. The whole goal is just to make sure that any work that involves AI is transparent about how it was used, it's accurate in what it says, and it's safe for everyone who interacts with it.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to break this acronym down, letter by letter, and really see how each part works as a pillar for building real, durable trust with your audience.
First up, E is for evidence always. And look, this one is completely non-negotiable. If an AI helps you generate a claim or pull a statistic, you have to be able to trace it back to a real, verifiable source. No more, the AI told me so. Every single thing you create needs a sources section, kind of like a research paper. Next up, T stands for transparent use. This is all about honesty. You've got to be upfront about when and how AI was used. It could be as simple as a little disclosure line on a report. And this is the big one. It means you always get consent before you hit record on one of those AI meeting tools. Always. H is for human oversight. This one's simple. The machine is a tool, but it's not the one in charge. Every single piece of content touched by AI needs a named human owner, a real person who is responsible for fact-checking it, for approving it. At the end of the day, the accountability has to lie with a person. I stands for the intent check. Think of this as the final gut check moment right before you hit publish. You have to stop and ask your team 2 really simple questions. 1, does this actually help and empower our audience? And 2, is there any way this could mislead, manipulate, or even exclude someone? If the answer is yes, you've got to fix it. Then we've got C, for context matters. An AI-generated report for your marketing team is going to be totally different from one for, say, a medical journal. You have to tailor everything to the specific audience and the industry you're in. And if your AI model has limitations, like maybe its data's a year old, you have to say that loud and clear. And finally, S is for secure and safe sharing. This is all about protecting data. It's a hard and fast rule. You never, ever enter sensitive customer or company info into a public AI model without redacting it first. You have to treat data privacy with AI just as seriously as you do everywhere else in your business. Okay, so that's the framework. It sounds good, right? But a policy sitting in a document on a server is pretty much useless. So let's talk about how you turn this from an idea into something your team actually does, with a simple 30-day plan that anyone can follow. See, you can break it down week by week to make it manageable. Week 1, you adopt the policy and you train your team. Week 2, you start building these checks right into your existing workflows. Week 3 is for getting your tools set up. And by week 4, you're auditing your recent work and you're publishing your commitment for the world to see. It's a sprint, not a marathon.
And to make it even easier, here's a super simple checklist. For every single project that uses AI, you just run down these 6 questions. Think of it like a pilot's pre-flight check before anything goes out the door. This is how you turn a big policy into a simple, repeatable habit.
Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking. This sounds like a lot of extra work. Another compliance tax we have to pay. But I want you to shift your perspective on that, because this isn't a tax at all. It's actually a huge competitive advantage.
Just think about this for a second. Right now, only 6% of companies have any kind of responsible AI policy in place. That means 94% of your competitors are probably just winging it. By simply adopting a clear framework like ethics, you immediately stand out from the crowd.
And this quote really says it all. This whole thing isn't about checking boxes or avoiding fines. It's about earning credibility. In a world where almost everyone is skeptical of AI, being the one company that can prove its AI is trustworthy, well, that's a powerful differentiator. It multiplies the trust your customers already have in you.
So we'll end with this question. One I want you to take back to your teams. Every single time you use an AI tool, every time you publish something that AI has touched, it's doing one of 2 things. It's either building trust or it's breaking it. There really is no middle ground. A framework like this gives you a clear path to make sure you're always on the right side of that equation. Thanks for tuning in.